Google
Good thing
Chrome.
to end on that, and it's a little sister story. I need to harp on Google a little bit. So Google is great. I love Google. They used to have a motto, which was "Don't be evil." They later got rid of that motto, and people have been scared about Google's lack of not evilness. They're starting to do some shady things, which is really disappointing because I love Google, like I really do. And so when they do some shady things, it really sucks.
Yeah.
One of these is the prompt API. So it's great that they're kind of innovating and exploring use of large language models integrated into the browser for local use. So using local models, all of these things are great. And this is what eventually made me, ditch Comet in the first place, was realizing, hey, AI is coming to Chrome. There's things that I love about Chrome that I want to go back to Chrome, and I can make use of AI. Also, just the novelty wore off of having your AI pane, and realizing that you can actually drive your browser through a local model and have kind of this direct integration was really exciting. And this thing has been in the works for a while, but the way that they're rolling it out, and this is now being rolled out, is like unbeknownst to users. They're downloading 4 gigabytes of model locally, and there's some negative reception to that, and especially by like steering committees and open standard committees and Mozilla and other people that are saying this is being done in a very unilateral, proprietary way instead of looking at consensus in the industry. Informed consent on the part of users. So it's a little bit, not great.
I saw this one. This is funny. First, the tabs came for the RAM, and I didn't protest. Then they came for the chip, and this is a paraphrasing of a quote about standing up for oppression because eventually it'll come to you. And this is then they came for the dark silicon, then they came for the hard disk space. So getting a 4 gigabyte model on everything. And then what you showed here, this is Mozilla's response. Prompt API closed. They're not going to do it. And there's a discussion in here, encourages model-specific behavior, increases interop risk. So this is interesting. I like this response. Needs much more baking in user land before web APIs are shipped. I'm a Comet user. I'm a paid Perplexity user. So I'm a paying Perplexity user. I find it convenient, but I'm not married to it. It'll be if there's a way to do it locally.
To finish this out, another shady thing that Google is doing is regarding CAPTCHAs. A lot of people see CAPTCHAs and reCAPTCHAs, and Google bought them a while ago. And people wonder, like, why would Google buy a CAPTCHA thing? It's like, well, they're in charge of a lot of infrastructure and things, and then there's things that Google does that are essentially public benefit initiatives. So yeah, stopping spam and stopping bots is great. But what's happening here now is that people can de-Googleify their Android phones. Right, so they can remove Google Play services and have their Android is an open source mobile OS, and they can run a privacy-first Android phone that doesn't dial home to Google. That seems important. And now Google has rolled out this update, is rolling out this update to reCAPTCHA that forces you to scan a QR code and use Google Play services. So if you have one of these privacy phones that has been de-Googleified, you're going to be locked out. And since reCAPTCHA is rolled out to, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of sites or something, like these people are going to be locked out of huge parts of the internet. And so this is wielding their power in an interesting way that is also very not cool.
Look at that. It must run Google Play services version 25.41.30 or higher to complete the reCAPTCHA mobile verification flow. Cloud defense system. Oh, it's always under the banner of fraud, fighting fraud. Yeah. Google's got to know what a fire hydrant is by now.
Yeah, yeah. Part of it is ridiculous. Where you've got these browser use agents. You're like, oh, let me solve the CAPTCHA for you.
I mean, it's funny. I ask Perplexity comment to like fill out flows for me, and it's prompted so that if I have to agree to terms and conditions, it will stop and say, "Hey, look, it's asking me, do you actually agree or not?" And then it'll keep going. So we're gonna have to, at some point, it's just gonna. I could tell it preemptively, agree to something unless it's stupid.
And I think that this is also speaking to the tension between fraud prevention and privacy, which you wouldn't think would be at odds with each other, but increasingly they are shown to be. I forget who it was. One major company recently was saying, hey, we need to verify that there was a person behind the action. And one really neat way to do that would be a Touch ID. So let's just collect biometric data on everybody in order to make sure that they're a human. So it's like, of course, there's a big backlash to that. Like I have to show my face or give you my fingerprint for some benign thing. It's a slippery slope. And I think this is not the last we're going to hear of that tension between fraud abuse or human verification and privacy, because it's really hard to decouple knowing if somebody is a person from knowing who that person is.
Yeah. It's and there's gonna be a lot of tension behind that, and also intent based. So is more to the point a person or agent, or is this agent acting on behalf of a person in an authorized manner, or is this just an autonomous bot? Or as the great Cosmo Kramer said, why does Radio Shack ask for your phone number when you buy batteries? We're always going to be dealing with this issue, right? You're going to see people want to eliminate all forms of payments except all forms of cash payments. I think that's another show. See, we can dive deeper into that.